Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I'll show you how to do keychain decorations out of felt. This time we're doing them by hand, so it's great practice even for beginners. And I'll show you all that you need will be a regular sewing needle, a thread of your choice, maybe in different colors even, a band, and felt of your choice, also in different colors. So you see here the shapes that I did, a donut, a cloud, a bunch of other stuff as well. So the cool thing is you can make whatever you want. You don't really need a pattern for this, so you can make this really the way you want it. So you can find whatever you want, and I'll show you how we draw onto the felt directly. So this is also a fast project, you get fast results, and it's great for beginners. So if you're interested, feel free to stay tuned. So you will need felt in different colors, and I recommend the thinner kind of felt today. Then some stuffing material of your choice, different colored threads, and then some thicker yarn for knitting or crocheting, and fabric scissors. Some bands or whatever you want to use as a band. I'm showing you here the different things or types that you can do in your project. And you will also need needles for sewing by hand, so you can see that I took different ones today, but I find it best to start with a really thick needle like this. Yeah, and the shape is up to you, and that's why you don't need a pattern or anything. So simply draw what you want onto the felt and cut it out. So you see that I have here some examples, so it's super easy. It's a front and a back side on each piece. For example, I'm doing here a donut. So I have two brownish pieces and one pink top extra. So the small pieces, of course, go the same way, and yeah, this is pretty much all you need. So you can do any size and shape. The method is always the same, so nothing changes. It's just the shape that you can change. So let's get right to it. I'll show you the donut. So here is my band that I'm gonna hang it up on. I think it's gonna match my piece really nicely. So the first step is to take the pieces apart. So before we put the front and back together, we always need to deal with the small stuff beforehand. For example, eyes, or on here the frosting of the donut that I cut out in pink. So anyway, let's deal with those, and let's stitch that up first. So here is my pink thread. I hope you can see it. It might look white, but it is indeed a light pink. You may notice that I doubled it because, as you can see, it's super thin. So I took a pretty big needle because it's easier to work with it that way. So go through the opening. Make sure you're pulling on both if you're doubling like I am. Then put that in the middle and double it once again. So this way I actually get 4 threads that I'm using as one. In the end, we do a knot. I like to do a doubled knot to make sure that it stays that way. So now we're gonna start by placing the knot on the inside of the fabric so that it's not visible later. I'll start with the outside edge of the pink piece so you'll see how the knot stays there. Now we will go through our pink felt and our brown felt, and then from the back it's the other way around, and that way we get a nice stitch that looks unique and is sturdy. Now this should look like this. You see the stitch on the outside edge and even on the inside edge. So I did them pretty tight or close to one another, but you can of course vary the density of your stitch as well as the color of the thread or the fabric, so the felt itself. Here is the inside. It looks kind of funny. And I want to do sprinkles all over, so I'll just take some colorful yarn and just make little lines on here. So I want them in the shape of a sprinkle, so little lines are going to work just fine. I'll start with red. It's pretty thick, so I'm not doubling it. This time it will be a lot easier and faster because it's thick and will be done in seconds. So the knot should be on the other side, and I cut off the leftover thread that was after the knot, and then the other side I also pulled a little bit longer so that it doesn't slip out as I work with it, so pull it out a bit. We go through and pull till the knot reaches the felt, and the cool thing is that you can't really see this side, so it doesn't matter what it looks like on here. So here we will now pick the spot where we will go through depending on how long we want our sprinkle piece to be. And here we are. Now I'll do the same all over the rest of the frosting with other colors as well. Also, I'll start from the back and end in the back. Super easy. Here we are. You may notice that I did it in 3 colors, and I think it looks like a donut with frosting and sprinkles. So the back is kind of weird, but you don't have to worry, that's going to be covered and on the inside, so nobody will see that. So now we can decide if we want to do something on the back, and if not, we can then close the 2 halves. We are using a regular thin thread in dark brown. I didn't have anything lighter that would match the felt, but it won't make a big difference. So we will do the stitch here on the inside and on the outside as well. So you can do any stitch you personally prefer. So my first step will be to go to the middle. And then I'll stuff it. And then I'm using a thin needle because the thread is thin. I'll double again because it's super thin, and I'll tie a knot again. Now we go on to the back side and we go through so that we hide the knot. Now we can pin it together, so make sure it's nicely aligned. And then just sew it together. Now that we did the middle, we can check. And you see a little opening in my case, so I gotta close it up, and afterwards we can stuff it. I'll show you how to do that. Just make sure you don't overdo it. Then we can also start the outside edge. So just do a regular stitch there, start from the middle to hide the knot, and then just go through the outsides. It's also smart to gradually stuff it so that it also stays inside as you stitch it up, and so that your stuffing doesn't keep falling out before you actually close up a section of it. So here is my result. You see that I closed all open edges, and I also did a band here so that I can sew it up later. I pushed it all the way to the inside here, and then I did a stitch here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Our donut is done. I hope you guys like the way it looks. I think if my thread matched the felt, it would have been even nicer, but I'm still very satisfied. So every other shape would be the same. You do the top section and all the extra details that you planned ahead, eyes, faces, or whatever else you planned, and then you would close it up, and while doing that, while closing up, you would deal with the band and with the stuffing as well. So the band would go on top so that you can hang it up later. So this is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to shoot us a thumbs up to let us know. You can also subscribe to our channel, and that way you're gonna stay notified every time we post something new, as well as gain access to the videos that we already posted. So feel free to click on the subscribe button. It's all for free, and it's a great way to stay updated with our work. Thanks for watching DIY Ideas. I'll see you in our next video. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye!